I'm going to make sure that I'm on. Good morning. Yes. All right. Good morning. It's Monday. I do not enjoy doing this, but I'm normally a very quiet and shy person. But I saw something this morning that I really feel like God told me that it was time to respond. I don't think it was anything in my personal friends group, but in a Facebook group that I belong to, I saw a post and it really resonated with me. And I think it's something that we're all dealing with right now. And that's what's next. And how are we going to rush through this phase and move on so that we can get back to real life? And I think not only during this weird time, weird pandemic, we're trying to just say, let's just get through this. Let's just get through this. But I think that we do that in normal life too. I can say as a young mom, we're like, well, if we can just get through this phase and the baby will sleep through the night, that I'll be doing a whole lot better and we'll be doing a lot better. Or if we can get through this week till the weekend or till our next vacation or to our next whatever it is, then all things are going to be good or we can handle it. Um, and I think that that may be the wrong thing for us to think about. And and I really feel like that may be where God stepped me this morning and really tried to minister to me. And I feel like that maybe I could share a little bit of what he how he ministered with me and maybe it may help you too if this is something that you really struggle with. Um, I think first and foremost, it is we're taught that we can do everything and we should be doing everything and it's in our own might and our own power and it's not. Um, Life is not about what we can push through and achieve. It's about more than that. And I think maybe that's an American thing that we do to push for and achieve more and just hustle and strive for what's next, what's better, what's to come, rather than really embracing today and the moment and what God may be teaching us right now. And in how he may be teaching us right now, how that may take us to a different place tomorrow. Um, we're not here alone. And even though right now I think so many people are surrounded in fear and they're completely taken aback and feel like they can't move forward and they're stuck. And I think in a lot of ways that's true, but we're not here alone. You know, God is here with us. In Deuteronomy 31:6, he says, be strong and courageous and don't be afraid or terrified because of them, because the Lord your God goes with you and he will never leave you or forsake you. He's here right now in this time. And as so many people are overcome by fear and decisions for their families and what to do next, you don't have to take those decisions lightly or to make them on your own. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is that God is here with you and he's going to give you the strength to make the decisions that are right. Um, Psalm 121 is such a great verse, and I go to that all the time. It says, I lift my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He's overcome. He's our creator. No stupid thing of this world is going to take us out because God created this world and it is good. He redeemed it through his son and he redeemed us through his son. So don't forget that. Don't forget that we are overcomers through Jesus Christ and he is always with us. I think that next kind of thing that really God dealt with me is about contentment and being sure of who you are and what you have and being grateful for that. Um, I always think about Paul when I think about contentment, And the book of Philippians has always been a really great book for me because, he was in prison. And I think in the spirit, Paul really knew that his time was done and he was going back to be the father because he was killed right after the writing of this book. Um, in chapter 4, he talked about he had learned in every situation to be content, whether he had food or whether he didn't, whether he had a place to stay or whether he didn't, whether he had plenty or whether he had lack. And honestly, we need to remind ourselves that, do we have what we need? And I think most people can say, yeah, we really do. We have way more than what we need. We have way more clothes than what we need. We have way more food than what we need. We have way more um, stuff than what we need. We can survive and we can be content in what God has given us. We have people that are around us that love us and support us and are just people that God has placed in our lives to be a blessing and for us to be a blessing back to them. We can be content in what we have. Remind yourself, and I think this is something that was really great for me this morning. Remind yourself who God is. God is never changing. He's always present and he's always God. And he is still on the throne. He's still supreme. He is still here. And he's not given this world over. He's still on the throne. He's sovereign. Be grateful for what he's doing in this time. Yes, this time is crazy. It's crazy, but God's still on the throne. And maybe there's something he really needs to teach us, and we can be content in that, to trust him, to trust in his sovereignty, to know that maybe in this time we're supposed to be drawing closer to him rather than drawing further away, and drawing closer together through our loved ones or ministering to ones who really are in need. So be grateful for what God is doing right now in this time and strengthen your relationship with him rather than drawing yourself into a hole and hiding. Um, I think that's something that I had a God moment a few weeks ago, and a few people know about it. I was on my way to work, and on the way to work, I heard him say very explicitly to me, move. And he said it again, move. And I don't think that he was talking about physically moving or relocating, but to move, for us as the church to move. And through this time, we've been hiding in a hole. And there still needs to be met. There are people who are still sick, people who are still hurting, people who need to be loved, people who need Jesus, people who need salvation, people who need to be ministered to. And we as the church have sat back and hid and done nothing. And it's time for us to move. And that starts with me. I just want to share that. That starts with me. And um, maybe that's why I'm doing this today. It starts with me. And I really think that part of what has held us back is our own minds, and our mindset really has something to do with it. And it's a playground for the devil. It really is. He can take thoughts that we have and just run rampant and derail us, take us off course. And I think that as part of our contentment and to really embrace today, we are to mind our mind. So, that God has given us the mind of Christ, and we are to take every thought captive. And I don't know that we really actively do that, or understand that. So, some things that maybe I want to just share with you is that 2 Corinthians 10:5 says that we destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing God, and we capture their rebellious thoughts and teach them how to obey Christ. So if you're having thoughts that are derailing you from what the purpose of God is, you can capture those in the spirit and say, no, that's not right. That's not of God. We're going to get back on track here. And God, forgive me for going there that way. And I think part of that is sharing. And again, that's maybe why I'm on here today, is to really share what God is teaching me right now in this time is that we're not to be overcome by things of the world, but we're to be overcome of things of God and things that he has done through his son and things that he's doing through us and things that he has done, and that we can stand on his promises, because his promises don't fail and his word does not fail. His word is forever. God's still working. And that's really what I want to say to you today is God's still working. He's still saving. He's still healing, and he still loves. And he's not forsaken us. And if you're struggling and trying to push through and just forget about this time, I really want to implore you to stop and think about, what is God trying to tell you today? And how does he want to love you today? And how does he want to use you to love someone else or to save someone else for his glory today? And let him be glorified, because he is, and he forever will be. So I guess that's what's on my heart. I hope that ministered to you today. If you if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it and hear your comments. And if you would like me to pray for you today, I hope that you put your prayer requests in the comments. I'd love to do that for you today. I love you guys.